Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Our thanks to John Shannon. All of today's guests brought to you by the Vancouver Giants, and that includes BCHL Commissioner Chris Hebb. BCHL's 60th anniversary. The league's top prospect game goes Friday in Penticton. The guest coaches, Duncan Keith, Kyle Turris. Festivities all weekend. There's an outdoor game on Saturday with Duncan and Kyle, and Scott Niedermeyer is going to be there. Brendan Morrison, Gary Volk, Jeff Cortnell. Gary's been busy, so has Jeff lately. Chris Hebb is in Penticton, BCHL Commissioner, ahead of the events. Chris, thanks for doing this. How are you, sir?
Doing really good, Dolly.
Is there a city that embraces hockey more than Penticton? My kid was there for a minor hockey tournament a couple of weeks ago. Is there a city that embraces hockey more than Penticton? The job they've done with the arenas there and everything around town.
Yeah, getting an arena like that built was really the amazing thing for me because I don't think there's going to be many more built that size. And South Okanagan Event Center and having the V's, one of our top teams operating out of there. It's a unique situation. And then added to that is that the owners of the V's collaborated with the city on building an outdoor rink, and we can have an outdoor game here. The weather is beautiful, and they're calling for a little bit of snow, but I think the guys are going to have fun.
Oh, that'll work. And they've kept the Memorial Arena up very, very well. The old arena where Ferraro and Brett Hull used to play. It's right next door to the South Okanagan Event Center. Just really, really good job by Penticton. So your league's top prospects game is just a few days before the Canadian Hockey League's top prospects game. Is that by design, Chris? You got all the scouts and NHL and college people here?
It's actually a little bit of a fluke. We wanted to have this weekend for this event. As you know, Don, last year, it's our 60th anniversary event. And last year we had to cancel it because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And we just said, let's give the middle finger to COVID and we'll do it next year. And so we set the dates a long time ago. It's great that it works out this way because then the scouts can come in and they can see both events and not have to make two trips.
Chris, talk about the overall health of the league. Attendance, tell us, you coming out of COVID, and how tough has it been and to make that adjustment and all that stuff. Junior hockey, where is it attendance-wise with you guys?
Well, for our league, it's been a pretty quick recovery, actually. The biggest issue we had, obviously, is when there was fear, especially since a lot of our customers are elderly. When there was fear of coming out and being in a situation where you're too close to too many people. But I think people have more or less got over that now. We absolutely recommend masking in many cases. A lot of people don't, but with the vaccinations and the job that the BC medical people have done, we feel pretty comfortable that we have a safe environment, and the audiences are showing us that.
Hey, Chris, 23 former BC Hockey League players on NHL rosters at the beginning of this year. That's really great. But for those kids that don't make it and get the education, that's just as important to me. And so many, there's no other feeder system feeding the NCAA like your league is.
Rick, it's really ridiculous what got created here long before I ever showed up. This is one of the number one sources for college hockey players in the United States. And, we don't shy away from saying we think that's a good thing. We think that these kids are coming to, not only develop as hockey players, but develop as men. And if we can get them college scholarships that also give them an education, we don't see any reason why this league can't get bigger and better and be supported by not only the fans, but by the government, by sponsors, by everybody. It's just a good news story. And, we have some bad news stories going around hockey right now. And the BCHL is a good news story.
Chris, I'll put you on the spot here. We all know that next week a lot of eyes will be on Connor Bedard, although I think the scouts are pretty well aware of what he can do. Who will the scouts be watching closely during the BCHL Top Prospects game?
Well, obviously, the young kid that's got the most upside is our Nadeau kid from Penticton. I mean, he's leading the league in scoring, and him and his brother are just like this kind of whirlwind.
1-2.
Yeah, 1-2, and they've got Penticton, having lost only 3 games this year, and it's not just those kids. There's another good kid named Adar Siniev on that team, and another kid named Hopkins. So. The Penticton Vs are doing what the Penticton Vs do, and the fact is they had 14 players come back too.
Yeah.
So they recruit young, draft eligible players, and they turn them into winners. And that's what we think our league is about: is trying to find college tracking, draft eligible elite players. But then work into the mix all of the kids who may be late bloomers and haven't had a chance to play in front of scouts. And so the league does a service to the elite players, don't get me wrong, but it also does a real service to the third and fourth liners who are going to get seen on every given night by scouts.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, we mentioned that outdoor game Saturday at the new outdoor arena in Penticton. Niedermeyer is going to play, Morrison, Volk, Cornell, and I know you want to take this opportunity to announce that you will be taking part in that outdoor game as well. Have I got that right?
Yeah, I'll be in goal, Don. With one of those sumo suits on. Maybe it's the only way I would ever do it. But no, I'll tell you, these former NHLers that have supported the BCHL, they get the value proposition. They're proud of this league. You talk to Jeff Cortnell, who coached in the league, played in the league. His sons played in the league, and he's just a huge proponent of what we're trying to do and get these kids to college. But having Kyle Turris come back to our league has been great, and getting Brendan Morrison out on the ice. These guys had a great time in the BCHL. Yep. They recognize that it was a part of their development, and it isn't all about NHL players for us. But when they do recognize the role that the BCHL played in their career, that's wonderful for us.
Yeah, and those guys are loyal to their minor hockey associations as well, so it's no surprise. Chris, thanks for this. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, guys.